Chapter 1. The beginning of the end that doesn't feel like an ending. There's a story that's being told more and more often. It doesn't start with an explosion, not with a scandal, not with tears, screaming, or broken promises. It starts quietly. So quietly that many people don't recognize it until everything is already over. A woman leaves her husband. Not because he cheated. Not because he abused her. Not because he diminished or destroyed her. She leaves because nothing terrible happened. He was reliable. He was stable. He was present. And at some point, that became the problem. In the beginning, everything felt easy. Everything was new. Everything was charged with meaning. When he brought her coffee, she felt seen. When he planned a date, she felt desired. When he remembered details, she felt important. Every action was a signal. Every gesture was proof. But over the years, his behavior didn't change. Her perception did. The coffee was still there, but it became taken for granted. The dates still happened, but they were expected. The attention was still there, but it wasn't felt anymore. What once felt like closeness turned into habit. What once felt like safety turned into routine. And routine is dangerous for people who believe love must always feel intense. She begins to create distance internally, not consciously, not intentionally. It happens gradually. She looks at him and doesn't see a bad man. She sees a good man who no longer makes her feel anything. And this is where doubt begins. Not, is he a good husband? But, is this it? That question is quiet, but it lingers. It shows up at night, in silent moments. When the day is done and nothing is left to distract her, she begins to compare. Not with real men, but with possibilities, with ideas, with fantasies, with the way she used to feel. And she mistakes that feeling for truth. What she doesn't realize, she isn't unhappy because something is missing. She's restless because nothing escalates. Nothing burns. Nothing shakes. Her husband is calm, consistent, predictable, and the very traits that make long-term commitment possible create no short-term thrill. So she begins to interpret calm as lack, quietly, internally. When she leaves, it doesn't feel wrong. It feels necessary, like self-respect, like growth, like a brave step forward. And for a moment, everything seems to confirm it. The world applauds. The voices are unanimous. You did the right thing, until she sees him again. Not destroyed. Not broken, but calm, light, independent. And in that moment, something inside her begins to shift. Not because she wants him back, but because she realizes she walked away from something she didn't understand while it was still there. Do you remember the first time you fell in love? The racing heart, the endless conversations, the feeling that this person was the most fascinating creature on earth. Every little detail was a discovery, a treasure. But what happens when that new car smell of a relationship starts to fade? What happens when familiarity starts to feel, well, a little too familiar? It's a strange paradox, isn't it? The very closeness we crave in a relationship can sometimes lead us to take our partner for granted. We get so used to them being there that we stop truly seeing them. The daily check-in calls become a routine. The goodnight texts become an automatic response. And the deep conversations about dreams and fears are replaced by debates over what to have for dinner. It's like listening to your favorite song on repeat until you don't even hear the music anymore. You know all the words, but you've forgotten the feeling. This isn't a sign that the love is gone. It's a sign that it needs to be rediscovered. Familiarity doesn't have to devalue love. It can actually deepen it, but only if we're intentional. Think about it. You now know your partner better than anyone. You know their favorite coffee order, the silly face they make when they're concentrating, and how to make them laugh until they cry. These aren't boring details. They are the building blocks of a shared life. The challenge is to not let them become invisible. So, how do we fight this? How do we keep the spark alive when the initial fireworks have settled? It starts with paying attention. Put the phone down when they're talking. Ask a question you haven't asked in a while. Something other than, "How was your day?" Plan a date that breaks the routine, even if it's just a picnic in the living room. Compliment them on something you've always admired, but stopped mentioning. It's about consciously choosing to see the amazing person in front of you, not just a familiar figure you share a home with. Love isn't a destination you arrive at. It's a garden you have to tend to every single day. The initial planting is exciting, but the real beauty comes from the consistent care, the watering, the weeding, the appreciation of its growth. Don't let familiarity be the weed that chokes your garden. Instead, let it be the rich soil where your love can grow deeper and stronger than ever before. What's one small thing you can do today to rediscover the magic in your relationship? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more.
In the end, there is no great revelation. No dramatic moment that explains everything. What remains is something far more uncomfortable. Realization. The realization that something real was traded for something imagined, that stability was exchanged for stimulation, reliability for emotional highs, substance for fantasy, and fantasy can never deliver what reality once carried. The man who would have stayed wasn't boring, he was solid. He was the ground a life could have been built on, not perfect, not cinematic, but real. And real things feel unimpressive while they're still there. Their value is only recognized after the fall, when nothing is left to catch you. That's the point where many begin to rethink. Too late. Not because the other person won't return, but because they've learned that love without appreciation isn't love, it's depletion. What gets destroyed here isn't just a relationship, it's trust, it's attachment, it's the ability to tolerate calm without mistaking it for emptiness. And that is the real tragedy, not that people leave, but that they leave without understanding what they're walking away from. If there is one lesson, it's this. Love is not what feels most intense. Love is what remains after intensity fades. Those who understand this protect what they have, those who don't learn it through loss. And loss is an expensive teacher.